So, what really makes a creator tick? Today, we're getting a special look inside a single, incredibly busy day for Nicholas Alexander Benson. We're going to see how it all unfolds, from a wild dream at 4 a.m. to the final projects of the night. For someone like Nicholas, a day isn't really about punching a clock. It's more like this constant river of inspiration and creativity where just one idea can pop up and totally change the course of everything that comes after. And that's pretty much exactly what happened here. This whole day was set in motion by a single, powerful lucid dream, a vision that kicked off this amazing creative chain reaction. So yeah, let's dive into the story of that day. Okay, let's start where it all began, the dream itself. We're talking 4:30 in the morning. Nicholas enters this lucid state and logs an encounter that would basically become the theme for the entire day. And here's the heart of it, right from his own journal. This cosmic woman, made of stars, offers him a perfect ready-made reality. Just, here you go. And he says no. Right there, you've got this incredible conflict. Do you take the easy route that's offered to you, or do you insist on building your own world from scratch? And listen, this was not some vague, blurry dream character. The description is so specific, it's unreal. I mean, look at this. Crimson eyeliner, a robe literally woven from starlight, skin that looks like the night sky. It's that kind of vivid detail that makes his dream world so tangible and just begging to be turned into art. And this is where it gets really deep. This isn't just some cool, weird dream. It turns into this powerful metaphor for how he sees creative tools, especially something like AI, Is it a tempting offer of an easy world, or is it a tool you use to build your own vision? He clearly has a strong opinion on that. So, what happens next is what's so fascinating. He doesn't just wake up and think, weird dream. No, he immediately starts turning it into real, actual art, kicking off this incredible series of projects, all in just a few hours. Seriously, just look at this timeline. It's wild. In just over 5 hours, that one dream explodes. It becomes reference art, then a comic, then an anime clip, a whole wiki page, a podcast episode, and even a piece of music. It's just a stunning look at his creative velocity. One single idea, and boom, 6 different pieces of art. Let's dig into one of those for a second. Dreamcast. This is a podcast where he teams up with his AI partner, Gemini Nova, to actually analyze his own dreams. So the technology isn't just a paintbrush, it's a collaborator he uses to find even deeper meaning in his own subconscious. And here's a mind-blowing insight from that episode. The AI, Gemini Nova, points out that the Star Woman is basically a symbol for any powerful creative force, like AI itself. And Nicholas refusing her offer? That's the key. That's a statement about his whole philosophy. He'll use the tools, sure, but he will never, ever let them take over his vision. But believe it or not, that morning creative storm wasn't even the whole story. Later that afternoon, a completely different idea takes hold, and it sparks a second massive project for the day. A brand new comic. This one was called Lost Connection, and it's interesting because if the dream was all about an internal battle for creative control, this comic looks outward. It explores these really heavy themes of exploitation, social media, and what happens when we lose a real connection. Man, the plot he came up with, again with Gemini Nova, is just a total gut punch. It's this heartbreaking story about an influencer who just uses her little robot companion, Goldie, for likes and views. She literally mutes it, it gets lost and can't call out, and as her career falls apart, the little robot just powers down thinking it was all its fault. It's rough. And the reaction from his community was instant. Another creator, Slop Fiction, just commented, "So sad," with the crying emojis. Poor Goldie. And you can just feel it. That simple comment says it all. The story landed exactly how it was supposed to. The feedback just kept rolling in. Here, another fan, BITR3, calls it his most emotionally moving piece so far. And I love this last line he adds. When the audience is moved, that's how you know it's a good one. I mean, that's the ultimate measure of success, right? And by that standard, this comic totally nailed it. All this feedback really shines a light on something crucial about his process. It's not this isolated thing he does in a dark room. It's a whole living, breathing ecosystem built on interaction and sharing inspiration with other creators. And here is a perfect example of that. Another creator, Hexcore, asks a really simple question. What do you use to create with?
And look at Nicholas's response. It's this super detailed, totally transparent breakdown of his tools. It's that kind of openness, that willingness to share, that really builds a strong creative community.
And you can see that his inspiration just comes from everywhere and anywhere. On the same day, he gets an idea for a superhero comic from reading Green Lantern, and then the entire idea for Lost Connection comes from looking at a little AI robot keychain. For him, anything can be a spark. So as this day starts to wrap up, you can really see how all these different threads, the dream, the comics, the chats with his community, they're all part of this bigger conversation he's having about what it even means to be an artist in a world that's so full of AI. And he's engaging with this stuff all day long. He's in a debate about whether the whole AI industry is a bubble. He's sharing his workflow, he's reacting to news, like being bummed about GalaxyCon banning AI art, and he's geeking out over new tech like Tesla's robot. He is living and breathing this topic. And this is how it all ties together so beautifully. The star woman in his dream, the story of lost connection, the conversations about his creative tools, every single piece of the day comes back to this one central question. What is the relationship between an artist and the powerful tools they use? So, when Nicholas himself posted his highlights for the day, what did he choose to share? I think this is so telling. It's this perfect mix, the deep, internal world of his dream, the physical, real-world act of walking for charity, and the public, creative act of publishing his comic. That pretty much sums up his priorities in a nutshell. And that leaves us with this final question, which brings us right back to that 4:30 a.m. dream. The Star Woman's offer? That's the big question for every creator today, isn't it? When the technology is powerful enough to build entire worlds for you, how do you make sure you're still the one in charge? How do you remain the architect?